Mom's right shoulder dropped.
Zion.
I don't know. Anyway. The ringing phone woke Joe. Rolling over, he grabbed it off the charger. Yeah, he gripped Joe Mike Holloway. I just wanted to update you on the guy who shot your brother. He's in jail facing attempted murder charges. Good. He needed to know how she was. How is your daughter doing? She went to her room and hasn't come out since. She spends the majority of her time up there. Last night was a rare occasion for her. One of her friends asked her to dinner, although considering what happened, I think Veronica was set up. With your brother out of commission, would you reconsider? Staying to see this through. As much asshole in jail, she is going to be fine. Ben is a dead shot. Jason isn't out of commission. I stopped by the hospital last night, and he's fine. They can handle this. Don't forget there are 6 guys outside your house, 24/7. Maybe it would be best if you just kept her at home until this is over. Mike laughed as Joe sat up. You don't know my daughter, but then again, I don't know her very well anymore. I still can't believe I wanted her to marry that asshole who's been beating the shit out of her for nearly a year, and she never said a word. Why do they do that? You're asking the wrong man. Damn, sorry about that. Thanks for saving her last night. You take care of yourself. Thanks, Mike. I'll keep in touch with Jason for you, just to make sure everything's going well. You take care of yourself. You two enjoy your retirement. Joe disconnected the call. But 3 hours later, he was heading to the cabin. His life was all his now. No more business. No more no more anything. He just couldn't get her out of would anyone say. He needed to put her out of his head. It would never be anything more than what it was. It was a 15-minute interlude laughing aloud. He betrayed himself. Yeah, a 15-minute interlude. That fucking derailed me. He couldn't let it go on any longer. Time and distance were the only way to settle this. When Ronnie finally came downstairs, her father informed her that Tony was in jail for attempted murder and attempted kidnapping. She knew she should have felt a sense of satisfaction, but somehow she knew this wasn't over. He would get out and he would come for her. Thanks, Daddy, but I thought it's not over. Are you sure it's all right if I stay here? I need to figure out what the hell to do with my life. I should get a job or something. He smiled at her. Sweetheart, you just spent the last year of your life being hurt by the man you love. Taking time to head from that isn't an outrageous thing. I know, but I just think maybe I should leave LA. Maybe go somewhere that no one knows me. I was thinking about maybe going to Chicago or New York. How about we wait until all this is settled? She nodded, knowing he was right. Okay, Daddy, thank you. Time moved forward for Ronnie at a snail's pace. Tony had been charged with assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, and attempted kidnapping. The judge didn't grant him bail, so he was in jail awaiting trial.
Sounds interesting.
Huh?
I said, sounds interesting. I'm listening, it's just I'm also driving and playing the
Weeks had
game.
passed, and Ronnie still just sat in her room one afternoon. Her father came up to see her. Veronica, I'm worried about you. You've been up here for weeks, sweetheart. What is going on? To be honest, Dad, I'm not sure. Mostly I'm trying to avoid murder. She just can't get over Tony. Why is she like that? Why does she treat me so badly all the time? I don't know. Listen, Tony's trial is coming up, and I spoke to the judge. You can go in and give your testimony. That way you won't need to be in court. Then why don't you go up to the cabin for a while? You seem to be the only one who enjoys that place. I know as a family we haven't been up there since you were a child. Daddy, as much as I would love to go, is that the best idea, sweetheart? Jason and Ben haven't been here for almost a month now. You are perfectly safe. You don't even go out to the garden, and you need fresh air. Winter is coming soon. Why don't you go up there?
Huh?
Alrighty.
But
I'll arrange everything. She nodded, knowing she didn't want to go anywhere. She wanted to wait for Joe to come back. He had to come back eventually. He owned the security company, didn't he? 2 days later, she was on the family plane, headed to Minnesota. Her father had the house stocked with food and arranged for a driver to pick her up and drive her out. He was right. She needed to feel something to get some fresh air, clear her head, and get over fucking Joe Blackshaw. He didn't come for her, so she was just what she believed her to be, a one-time thing. So many times Joe wanted to go back and get her, go Jason and Mike a few times, but once Jason stopped watching over her, there was no excuse. Weeks had passed and he still couldn't get her out of his mind. The way her eyes bore into his thoughts, but who was so obviously fucked up, the more he thought about it, the more he believed that it was exactly what he wanted. He was checking his emails and saw one from Jason. He needed to go back for that fucking guy's trial. Something he would gladly do. Maybe then Ronnie would have some peace of mind and could go on with her life. So he sent Jason an email and told him to send the plane, only to discover it was already in Minneapolis, Joe. Packed the bag and headed out. He was going to make sure this asshole paid big time. Maybe with a little luck, he would get 20 years. Ronnie said when she got to the house, she believed she was depressed. Being alone probably wasn't the best choice, but she was afraid all the time. Her friends abandoned her, and her mother wouldn't let with the bad dreams. When she woke, she ate, then decided to go for a walk. She hadn't been outside in any real captivity in a very long time. Tony had made her a prisoner. She was terrified all the time of doing something that would set him off. Walking along the little creek, she tried to remember when it all started, but she couldn't pinpoint a time. Just that it had happened nearly once a week. If he was in town from D.C., it would happen more often. But it was over now. She had given her statement to a court reporter, and his trial was set to start soon. Her father would make sure he went to jail. She did, after all, shoot Jason Blackshaw, and from what Ronnie could tell, the Blackshaw brothers were men you didn't mess with. As she walked, she remembered the nearly forgotten 15 minutes she gave herself to a complete stranger. When she looked up, she was standing in his yard along the creek, her eyes glued to the door on the deck. Is he here? Is this where he disappeared to? Fighting with herself not to go up and knock, she kept walking. It just wasn't meant to be anything other than what it was. He was her father's friend, which meant he was much older than her. Not to mention, her father would probably have a stroke. Her life was her own now. She was there to figure out what to do with it. LA wasn't an option for her, and DC was not a place she wanted to live. She had gone to college to be a teacher.
Harley, shut up.
She had gone to college to be a teacher, so maybe she would do that. Maybe there was a school in Minnesota that she could teach at. Not even she decided that was.
What's it going to be? What are we doing there? So, what's up? What can I do? That looks badass. Oh yeah, sexy shit. Looking good. I think I just got a heart on. Nice. Bulletproof kicks. Okay, have fun.
Man, did I ever? She was fucking bare ass on hardwood floor. Her ass, well, yeah, she was fucking magnificent. The problem is that I fucking kissed her, and she was the sweetest thing I ever tasted. We went a second round. She didn't make a sound, not one moan, not one grunt, and when we were done, she rolled over, got dressed, and left without saying a word. Your kind of girl wasn't she? Joe chuckled. Perfect, but something didn't feel right. So I went after her, found her in the woods, hysterical. So I brought her back to the cabin, but she just left once she calmed down. So what's the problem? I can't get her out of my fucking head. It's been weeks, but there's more. Mike Holloway wanted me to protect his princess of a daughter, but I declined, and Jason took the job. Well, I had stopped to have a drink with him before I left. Turns out the princess he was hired to protect was in fact her. She's Mike's daughter. Al busted out laughing. No fucking way. What the hell, Joe? You gave a shit all the time about crossing the line. I fucking quit my job because I did it. Well, that, and I'm sure Beck would have let me work anymore. But you crossed more than one line. You know that, right? Yeah, I fucking know. That's better than anyone. Man, you fucked your friend's daughter. How do you even come back from that?
Throw her ass out, huh? See ya.
Hey! Hey, yo! I'm over here!
isn't the conversation I wanted to have on the phone. But Joe, we need to talk.
What up?
Closing his eyes, he took a deep breath, looking at his little brother. He cracked a slight smile.
Can you hear me? What up? Yeah, I got you.
I'm not sure I want to have this conversation. Too bad. What did I see at the bar? I have no idea. You tell me,
Just
Joe.
get something out of my garage, one of my garages and shit.
Jason was going to have to pry it out of him.
Nobody does. You said what?
Did you sleep with her? Are you sleeping with her?
We do anything?
No. Look, Joe, he's like,
I got new cars now.
he's your friend. I fucking know that. At the time, I didn't have a clue who she was. The last time I saw her, she was a little girl. I didn't know it was her until we were in that bar. What are you going to do? Have you seen her since? I don't have a fucking clue what I'm going to do. I know I should tell Mike, but we go way back, and I'm not so sure he's going to be my friend when I seen her since. It was just a one-time thing that happened. I saw your face, your eyes. It's more than that, and you know it. He hadn't realized how transparent he was, shaking his head. Joe reluctantly told him he's got me. It happened a long time ago, though. I'm sure she has more than forgotten about me. Jason handed him a plate of food. You're fucked. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. Now can we drop it, please? If I hadn't watched that bastard shoot, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have to face her or Mike. Jason looked at him and smiled. Neither of them will be there, will Mike? But Veronica gave her testimony in private to the judge, with a court reporter there. It will be read to the jury. She's in bad shape over all of this. Mike said the guy had been beating the shit out of her for over a year. And as far as I know, she hasn't left the house since that night. My friend set her up when she got to her at the club. Mike said she just sits in her room all day doing nothing. Joe's stomach rolled with disgust. His heart warmed fully, and there wasn't a fucking thing he could do about it. Hearing this only made him know why she'd been so quiet, why she was crying and screaming. She was completely alone. Joe knew her mother. The woman was a stone-cold bitch, the biggest society snob he had ever met. She even tried to fuck him years ago. Joe hated her. They ate without saying another word. Joe just wanted to get the fuck out of there and go back to Minnesota. They dressed and headed to court. Joe was called to testify when he told his account of what he saw. Looking at the fucker sitting there with a smug look on his face, Joe wanted to punch him again. When the day was done, he spoke to the district attorney about leaving. He didn't want to be there. He didn't want to see Mike or take the chance of staying in line. He was told he wasn't needed anymore, so they headed back to Jason. Here as I can get. Don't tell him where I am, alright? I won't say a word. Thanks, man, for coming and doing this. Yeah, well, if the fucker gets off, call me. He isn't getting out. Take care, brother, and don't be a stranger. Mom wants us all home for Christmas. Al and Becca are coming, so your ass better be there. Joe laughed. Yeah, I'll be there. Take care. The brothers hugged, and Joe headed back to the airport, then back to Minnesota. baby.
I heard you.
Chapter 5. Page 50. Baby. Page 50. Chapter 5. Ronnie walked the property each day for a while. He took the car and wandered into town looking for the school. Maybe she could apply for a substitute teacher position. The school didn't take long to find. They were in fact looking for one after the holidays so she could start teaching second grade. Then, feeling better about herself for the first time in a very long time, she decided to treat herself to lunch at the diner. She met a few people who were all very sweet to her. She told them that she was the new second grade substitute teacher. Everyone seemed pleased and happy about it. When the afternoon was all said and done, she found herself walking along, settled down from the past year of her life. The fear was a constant in her mind and her actions. She was still struggling with her mother and the reality that she hated her. How can a woman hate her own child? As she strolled along the creek's edge, she happened to look up, her heart stopping in her chest. Joe Blackshaw stood less than Chisled jawed, his broad shoulders and his stoic expression. She didn't know what to do. Why now? Her eyes darted around looking for an escape. Her cheeks flushed with the guilt of her thoughts concerning him. Turning, she just walked away. She could feel her hands shaking, hear her heart beating in her ears. Oh my God, her voice was so soft, only she could hear it. Joe had done all he could to forget her, to move forward. It took all he had not to stop by Mike's house, knowing he would be in D.C. Hoping to see Ronnie, it bothered him that she had shut herself away, but he understood the imagination he had concerning her abuse was the same he learned to deal with it when his sister was murdered. How do you not know someone is being so terribly abused? So many questions he had asked himself over the years. The same questions replayed in his mind again, making his heart heavy over the past few months. This woman was embedded deeper in his heart and mind than he wanted. Sitting on his deck, he needed to take Al's advice and just forget it. Mike wouldn't understand. Hell, he didn't understand. He wouldn't understand if it was his daughter and his friend getting all wound up. Adjustment. Page 52.
I'm listening.
Adjusting when she picks her head up. When she picked her head up, it felt like the world stopped moving. There was no sound, nothing moved. It was just him and her. He could see the wonder in her eyes, then the sadness, and out of nowhere the fear. He couldn't move. Joe wanted to grab her and pull her to him, but he didn't think. Was he really seeing her, or was it just his mind playing games with him? When she turned and walked away, Joe didn't know what to do. He wanted to go after her, but her body language warned him not to. So he just stood there and watched her perfect ass walk away. When she disappeared into the woods, a small smile crept across her face. She's here. She's safe. That's all that mattered for him. At least that was he told himself. Turning, he headed back to his cabin, knowing they should talk. They would need to discuss the matter. Plopping down in his chair, he stared out at the water. He had never wanted to talk to a woman more than he did now. He wanted so much more than to talk, but in his heart, he knew it could never happen again. He knew she was completely off limits. His friend's daughter, what the fuck? Pushing up, he headed in the house to grab his phone. He needed to talk to Al. Dialing the number, he headed out to the crate. Yeah, Al said. Joe chuckled. Did I catch you
Throwing
on
a party in your penthouse?
No, we're at the
With
beach.
guest services and the
Getting
evidence
cold
from
out,
last
so
night's
our
debauchery
time
will be
is ruined.
cleaned right
What's
away.
up? Hey, did you testify? Yeah, then I got the hell out of there. I really wasn't sure I was going to enjoy retirement, but you know, I am liking this out. Busted out laughing. It definitely has an advantage. You alright? Joe went up before retirement. No, not really. He turned to look down the path, and standing about 20 feet away was Ronnie. Man, I need to call you back. You sure? Yep, Joe disconnected the call. His eyes didn't move from her. He could hear his heartbeat. And his eyes didn't move. He could hear her heart. He could hear his heartbeat in her ears. She just stood there, not moving, staring at him. He wanted to move, but was frozen. He was one who moved toward him. He didn't blink. He didn't even blink. As he watched her take step after step, and she walked about 5 feet away, she stopped looking at him. Her eyes were so green, the white glossy, the rims a bit red. She'd been crying. Joe wanted to reach for her and touch her and turn to hold her. He wanted to make her feel something safe, but he didn't move. They stood there 5 feet apart from one another, just looking in each other's eyes. Neither of them moved or spoke. They just stood there. Joe tried to see past the pain, while Veronica tried to see past her anger. She took a deep breath. Why? Her voice was soft. Why didn't you say something to me? I didn't know what to say. His words were kind, but his eyes felt painful. She nodded and turned to walk away. Joe reached out and touched her arm. Don't, he whispered. Don't walk away. It doesn't matter. You won't follow me. I know that now. It was a mistake coming here. He pulled out of his grip and walked back into the woods. Joe fought with himself not to go after her, the feeling that zipped up his arm when he touched her strap. He wanted her like he wanted his knee to break. But she was right. He wouldn't follow her. He couldn't. She was his friend's daughter. crossing that line again, knowing who she was unacceptable. It was a line he couldn't cross. Dropping his head when she was out of his sight, he walked back to his cabin and moved to the deck. As he sat in his chair, his eyes bored into the woods. His brain repeatedly told himself it was wrong to have these feelings, to have this desire. But his body, his heart was telling his mind to shut the hell up. Would Mike understand? He knew he wouldn't fit. He knew he wouldn't. If it was his daughter, he would be out for blood. Miranda walked slowly through the woods, hoping with all she had he would follow her, but he didn't. And she knew why. He was her father's son, and he was older than her, but none of that mattered to her. She wanted him, but even that thought confused her. He made it perfectly clear that what they'd done was all there was ever be. She felt the warmth of her tears as they squeezed down her cheeks. Her fingers quickly wiped them away as she pacified herself. I will not cry over him. After walking up the path to the house, she slammed the door and screamed. She felt like such a fool. It was one time a few fucking minutes of pure bliss once, so there shouldn't be any residual feelings towards him. It was what it was, a total laugh and judgment on her part. She shook her head. If that's all it was, then why do I still want him? Pushing off the door, she headed to the kitchen to eat. Then she was going to bed. She wanted to sleep the rest of her life away.
Wow!
Joe sat on his desk for what seemed like hours thinking about her, thinking about how much he would hate it if she was his daughter. He really needed to get it grip.
I'm guessing you don't want a back rub. How can I help? Oh, hey, you're in trouble. Okay, I'll deal with it.
He should have spoken to her, made her understand the line he crossed, the line that was much bigger now that he knew who he was. Pushing up, he headed inside to get something to eat. After he went to lay on the bed, he knew he needed to call Al back. Looking at the clock, he realized it was late, so he would call him tomorrow. Picking up his phone, he checked his messages and his emails to see how things were going with the trial. No news. He dropped his phone onto the bed. He lay there for hours, unable to sleep, unable to do anything, to see visions of her in his mind. Her ass those incredible tits, and she tasted so sweet to him. Never had a woman tasted that sweet before. He knew what he was doing. He was out the door, looking out the woods, but he knew he was going to burn in hell. Off the deck he went, and as he started up the path, he stopped short.
Hello, this is Morse Mutual Insurance. I'll look into it.
She stopped looking up at him. I can't stand this anymore. Why didn't you say something? Was it because of my father? Joe stepped forward, moving closer to her until he stood less than a foot from her. His hand moved on its own, gently touching her face. I didn't know who you were, and if I had, that would have never happened. Her eyes bored into his. You're a liar. Her words were soft. Her breath warm on his fingers. No fucking liar. He smiled at his fingers and then she see her head, pulling it tight against his scalp. I don't lie. He groaned as he pulled her head back. Maybe not. You are now. The soft. Her voice. Joe watched her lips curve. His mouth slowly and gently came down on her. He engulfed her soul, taking everything from her, and that chance he felt it to the core of of his being. No woman had ever made him feel like this. Holding back, he was so fucking sweet. You taste so fucking sweet. He explained her mouth again. When he finished, he sat back, letting her hair go. They just stood there looking at each other, shaking his head. He turned and walked away. My elbow.
I got the munchies.
And walked away, cursing himself for giving in as much as he had. He was giving her mixed messages. That kind of man. He despised women who played games like this. He stopped walking and turned to look at her. He wanted a man like me wanted you to continue what I took. I would want the fucker dead. You didn't take anything that I didn't willingly give you. He stepped toward her. Did you know who I was? He was angry now. She shook her head. No. I just need to feel wanted, something I have felt in a very long time. I just wanted to feel anything other than the pain that is me. He stood there trying to rein in his anger. He didn't trust women. And this woman in front of him, well, he wanted her. The lust flowing through his veins was more than he could handle. I can't do this with you, Veronica. My name is Ronnie. He called me Veronica, and you are not him. Or are you? Her question was laced with venom. A smile crossed his lips. Oh, sweetheart, I am him. The difference is pain is nothing but pleasure. He wanted to scare her, make her back.
In a good way, in a good, straight ahead, low IQ kind of. Oh no, let's stop.
Sweetheart, I am him. The difference is pain is nothing but pleasure. He wanted to scare her, make her back away from him, but she stood there with defiance in her eyes as she licked her lips and touched her bottom lip between her teeth. Joe had to stop the moan. You wouldn't hurt me like that. Be so sure of yourself. Walked away. He didn't stop even when he slammed the door behind him. He was still pissed off at himself. He should have never kissed her. Now she Man, I seriously think God would say, do what feels like the right thing for you. Listen, not that I am a parent, or that I will ever be the parent, but I think the only thing parents ever want for their children is just desires, just for a good man to love them, protect them, and take care of them. Joe, you are a good man, and Mike knows it. I'm sure he will eventually see that you will care for her that you might even be in love with her. He thinks that he will come with it. Joe didn't say anything for a minute. Do you think so? I mean, I'm at a loss here. She's like 15 years younger than me. I am an old fucking man compared to her. Ah, wow. Age is only a number. I'm younger than Becca. But do you think that bothers me? Nope, it doesn't. Just let Mike go in this equation. It isn't about Mike. This is about you. Neither of you knew who the other was when you jumped. So big deal. Now you know your feelings aren't any different now that you know, are they? No, man, they're not. If anything, they are stronger. The problem is, do I want her more now because I know she is forbidden? Al chuckled. Only you can answer that. But I know you and I know you don't work like that. And Mike knows that about you. Joe, you never allowed yourself to get close to a woman, not since Julia. And that was nearly 20 years ago. You always keep yourself so far. Man, you are 45. Let yourself go. Let yourself love. Self-love. Was he in love with her? I don't even know her. I spent 15 minutes fucking the hell out of her. Then it was over. Well, apparently it was more than just fucking. Listen, my wife is standing on the deck, looking at me. I'm outside procrastinating to go talk to her. Something I know you have never done with a woman. Outside of business, I'm going to go. Call me tomorrow on out. Yeah, thanks. Joe disconnected the call, and rested his arms on his thighs. His mind wandered in a million directions at once. Closing his eyes, he could still taste her on his lips. He could still feel her perfect skin on his fingertips. The way her hair felt wrapped around his hands. The sweet smell of her embedded in his nose. He got up, needing a drink. Hell, he needed her. When he walked out of the kitchen with a beer in his hand, he saw her standing at his door. His body froze. He knew what he was going to do the minute she left her lips. Setting the beer on the counter, he walked to the door and pulled it open. She stood there looking at him. He watched as her shaking hand reached up and she gently placed it on his chest. It was when she blinked that he picked her up, her legs wrapping around him. Her mouth crashing down on him. Or her hand tugging at his hair. Turning, Joe kicked the door shut and was moving through the cabin to his bedroom. Standing on the bed, he laid her on her back. Their mouths not parting, he gently laid his body over her, resting his weight on his elbows. Her legs still wrapped around him. It tasted so good, he slowed the kiss and took his time tasting her. The gentle slice of his tongue.
No, I'm putting work in, bro.
Hug of her lips between his soft. His senses were on overload.
I'm putting work in.
His cough harder than something strong, but the urgency to fuck her was strong. Something more so me down. It was in that uncontrollable desire to release. It was deeper, much deeper, pulling back. He looked at her, his thumb brushing along her swollen lips. So fucking sweet.
I'm gonna touch the footwork.
Leaning in to kiss her again. It went on for a good half hour. The two of them lying in bed in that position, just kissing one another. There was no touching, no ripping. Going back to look at her. Her eyes closed, fucking beautiful. She slowly opened her eyes, and he could see the tears building up. Still, She said nothing as they escaped down the sides of her face. Her legs released his hips, and her hand